YouTube? It's me, Bergie, and I'm here with my new video, which I had told you guys about in my last video, which was my review on The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Now, I don't know how this is gonna go. It might go very well, or it could go horribly wrong, but we'll see. But please let me know if you enjoy this video, and I'll do it again. For this video, I plan on doing like a book and movie and TV show recap, while also stating things that I liked a lot that maybe does not have to do with those things. So it's basically a recap and a favorites video all in one, which could be interesting. Again, we'll see. But I'm going to start out with things that I actually talk about on my channel. So I'm going to first go into movies, as that is how I started off this month. So on January 9th, I watched the Fantastic Four, the 2015 version. Now let me tell you, I was kind of, even though I heard a whole bunch of negative opinions on that movie, I was kind of going in with like, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it won't be as bad as people said it was. It was pretty bad. I gave it a 4 out of 10 rating, so that's not good. It's less than 50%, so no. I did initially watch it because I liked Miles Teller. Like, he just seems like a cool dude. But it was just bad. Just, there was no storyline or whatever. It was very short, and it didn't really impress me. Like, with those kinds of, because I think Fantastic Four, is that Marvel? I know it's a comic book thing, so I always expect those to be really great. But it just wasn't, and I feel bad saying this because everybody says it, but it's true. The next movie that I watched was The Imitation Game, which came out in 2014. Now, I had wanted to see this in the movie theaters, but 2014, I was probably in uni, so I don't go to see as many movies as I do when I'm back home, especially during the summer and the winter, which is the only time I'm home right now, so that was a bit redundant to say. But anyway, so I did want to see it. I thought it was going to be good, and I just finally, only now, remembered I wanted to watch it, so I watched it. And I really love all the characters that I've seen. Benedict Cumberbatch, however you pronounce his last name. I've always loved his characters, or how he portrays them. And it was, again, with this one, he was just amazing. And the story, when you look at it, yeah, there were funny parts, but it was very serious and very sad. Like, I never really knew much about Alan Turing, other than the fact that he kind of pioneered the computer, or started the technological advancements that led us to the computer. That's basically all I knew. I had no idea that he was gay, and that he was basically arrested and punished for being gay. Like, that's just mind-blowing. Like, I'm sorry, but that's kind of like the prosecution you would hear in the US rather than in the UK. Like, oh my god. Although, to be fair, the British are not as saint-like as they would seem by their accents. I really hope I don't offend people by that, but yeah. So yeah, I gave that a 8.5 out of 10 rating, so it was pretty good. Third movie I watched this month was Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, which came out in 2012. And I just have been seeing it on Netflix for a while, and I was like, okay, I'll see that at some point. It seemed interesting, but it wasn't a movie that I really was like, I gotta see this right now, or else, like, I'll die. So I had it on my list for a while, and then I was like, this is a good time to watch it. And I really liked it. It was just funny, and yeah, I love Steve Carell, and Keira Knightley was great. But that ending, though, like, oh my goodness, I know that was the whole premise of the movie, which I'm not gonna spoil it for you just in case you want to watch it, because I thought it was really good. I gave it, again, an 8.5 out of 10 rating. But that ending, oh, it angered me so much. Fourth movie I watched this month was Spaceballs, which of course came out in 1987 after the original Star Wars movie. And of course, it's a spoof of it by Mel Brooks, which I loved. Was it Robin Hood Men in Tights that he did? I think it was. But I love that movie. That is one of my favorite movies of all time because it's hilarious. And Spaceballs did not disappoint with the level of humor in it. It was just great. And just like all the different snide, obvious references to Star Wars is just hilarious. And of course, since I've been like Star Wars obsessed because of The Force Awakens, that did not come out as English, as The Force Awakens just came out like a little over a month ago, but I was like, this is a good time. It was a really good movie, and it was just funny. So funny. I was laughing, I think, the entire time I was watching it. It was really good. And I gave it a 9 out of 10 rating, so I think that was the highest I gave out of all the movies I watched. In total, I watched 4 movies, which is not that bad considering I think last year I watched like at least 4 movies a day. So I'm slowly bringing it so that I'm balancing books and movies. Although I'm going to go into TV shows now, which I did some damage with those. Okay, so for the TV shows, I'm not going to be nitpicky and talk about every little thing because I'd be here for a while. So I'm just going to talk about the different TV shows I watched and maybe some thoughts about how I like them. So first up is NCIS, which 2 episodes came out. They were pretty good. I really liked the first episode because we were able to see a backstory for Abby, which she's a great character, and I don't think we have ever had a backstory for her. So that was nice to see. For the second episode, it wasn't anything like huge. It was good, but I mean, NCIS is one of those episodes that you just watch because you love the characters. It doesn't necessarily have plots that you're just like, oh my god, that is just Not for a while. Like, it's not every episode. It's usually just like the end of the season or the end of the mid-season finale. So it looks like it looks good. But I'm angry because I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that Michael Weatherly is leaving after the season. And we can't go without DiNozzo. He's one of my favorite characters. Granted, all of the main characters that have stayed on since like the beginning are my favorite characters, but still, NCIS isn't the same without DiNozzo, and I'm pretty pissed off about that. Another TV show that I watched was Doctor Who, and it was the Husbands of River Song, and I thought that was a really good episode. I mean, it was interesting. It wasn't the best Doctor Who episode, but it was still really interesting, and I was glad to see River back and see the Doctor and River's kind of tension between them. Next was Sherlock, which it was the Abominable Bride, that little like I don't know how to call it, but it was like more like a movie than just a show, and I was really glad to see that because I miss Sherlock. I hate how there's like such a huge gap between each like season. It's really annoying, but it was nice to see Benedict Cumberbatch or Bach, however you say his name again, to reprise his role as Sherlock, because in my mind he is okay, I'm not going to say the best Sherlock because I actually really like Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock, but I mean, they're great as, Benedict is great as well. So I was glad to see that, and the fact that this takes place in like Victorian era England, it makes it so nice. It felt so nice, but then it confused me a bit, but I still really enjoyed the episode. I also watched Making a Murderer, but because I had done my own review for that, I will put that link down in the description so you can check that out. Now for Criminal Minds, so far, I don't know what it is. The first 3 episodes that we've gotten in this the second half of this season, I don't know, they haven't been that great. I mean, I love them still, but they're not as great as I remember some of the other ones being. I mean, I really like the first episode where it was Reed kind of talking to a hit woman and trying to take her in. That was really interesting, but the other 2 episodes weren't anything really different than what they've done before. I still love the show, and I'm going to continue watching it, obviously, but it wasn't anything new. Okay, so NCIS New Orleans also started up again, and we've only gotten one episode for that so far. Although the first episode with Abby that I talked about had like a crossover with the NCIS New Orleans, but I'm going to count that as just regular NCIS. So this episode for NCIS New Orleans, it was good, but again, it wasn't anything special. I'm also still confused that why this one plot, I guess, that they've kind of kept in the background in the first half of the season, why they haven't started talking about it yet again. I know it was only one true episode for this half of the season that's happened so far, but still, like, I would have thought it would have been mentioned. I'm guessing they're probably going to do at least 1 or 2 episodes for that, like a big reveal or something, but I want something now about it. I'm interested in it. Okay, so the main thing that I want to talk about that I really loved is Supernatural. That first episode, so many just like emotions and feelings toward it. I hated it for like the first half of it because it was Dean puking, and I'm not good with puke, and he was just like continuously puking. So that wasn't fun. But then everything after that point was just great. And I have to say, I'm so lucky that there was no puke beforehand, because I mean, when you think of supernatural stuff, you think of like The Exorcist, where when she's being possessed, she's just like puking all the time, just green stuff coming out of her mouth continuously. But we haven't had anything like that, so I've been lucky. I should be happy that I've been this lucky. But it was still quite disgusting. But then after that, just greatness, and I don't want to spoil it at all, but it was just, I'm liking where it's going. This one thing kind of carried on to the next episode, and I really love it. And I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it for people because I would be pretty mad if it was spoiled for me. But I really like how the second half of the season is going. It looks very promising, and I'm happy about that. The last TV show I'm going to talk about is Agent Carter, which started up, I think, a couple of weeks ago, so I kind of fell behind, but I'm slowly catching up. And I've watched 2 episodes so far, and I really love how it's going. I really love the first season, and my love is continuing. I think they're doing a great job with it so far, and I can't wait to see how it continues on. And yeah, so I'm not going to talk about any spoilers for that. In total, I watched 21 episodes, which sounds like a lot, but I usually watch 21 episodes in like a week, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself for decreasing my watching time and increasing my reading time, which that was a great segue, because now I'm going to be talking about my books that I read. The first book that I read was The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, and I'm not going to go into that at all because I made my own review for that, and I'll link that down below. There have been a number of books that I read and that I don't plan on making a separate review for at this time, and it is because the books that I read, they're all part of the same series, and the reason I started reading them was so I can read the newest book in that series. So I'm probably going to do a review for that last book, so I'm not going to waste my time and talk about it so much from right now. But that series, which for some reason is very frowned upon in the booktuber or even just book reader community, and that is Pittacus Lore's Lorien Legacies. Now, I don't know exactly why there's a problem with that book series or that author. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the author and another book that he wrote that has nothing to do with the series. So I'm going to completely ignore whatever he did, because I just really love this series. I really enjoy reading it, and it's one of my favorite YA fiction novels. I think actually I put this in my top 10 book series. I might have. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this book, and I've been trying to read it in the order in which each book had come out, and that might seem obvious, but the thing is with this series, it has like the actual Lorraine Legacies, which is the main series. Then it has a second mini-series called The Lost Files, and there's a couple books in that. And then there's extra books that I guess the writer just decided to write. And this, I love it when authors do this and just like write so much and really describe the world about which they're writing. It just makes my day because it shows how like passionate I guess they are about this world that they're creating, and they want to give it to the readers and not just keep it in their brain. So I really love that. So I do really love the series, and I feel like you should ignore completely whatever problems other people have with the author with his other books and just read the series because it is really, really cool. And if you don't know, it's about this alien race who kind of fled to the Earth because a second evil alien race took over their planet and completely destroyed it. So the first alien race that escaped to Earth are biding their time, trying to get all their strengths and all their powers so that way they can defeat the bad, evil alien race and then go back home and repopulate and fix their own planet. And it's really cool. I really love how it's going. One of my favorite, I think, female characters ever is in this book, and that would be number 6. She just seems so cool, and oh my god, she's a badass. She's like the most badass of all badasses that I've read about, and I want to be her. But yeah, so officially I read I'm Number 4, which is the first in the main series, The Lost Files 6th Legacy by Pittacus Lore, Sarah's Journal by Pittacus Lore. I guess I don't need to say the author because I mean they're all by the same person. The Power of 6, which is the second book in the main series. Nine's Legacy, which is another Lost Files book. Pittacus Lore's Transmissions, which was an audio, which, let me tell you, the voice for that audio is kind of creepy, and I would rather have read, which I did do. I read the transcript. The Fallen Legacies, which is again another book in the Lost Files. Sam's Journal, 8's Origin, The Rise of 9, which is the third book in the main series. The Search for Sam, which is again a Lost Files novel. And that was it. So I ended up reading 9 or 10 books this month, which is pretty good, especially considering the fact that my goal for this year was to read 33 books. So I'm pretty far along in reaching my goal. So I'm probably going to surpass that if I keep going at the rate I'm going, which I'm hoping that'll happen, although probably all of March and April and May I won't be able to read as much because that'll be when all my schoolwork is due, all my traveling is going to happen, and all of my exams are going to happen. So I need to get out all the reading I can for January and February because I know that I'll hit a dead end in March. But yeah, those are the books I read. Those were all the review kind of stuff that I have with all the movies, TV shows, and that kind of stuff that I normally do on this channel. But I figured since I have interests elsewhere, I might as well include them as well because it's interesting. I at least think so. And I also watch a lot of these favorites videos that a lot of like beauty or fashion YouTubers do. So I was like, I watched them, I might as well make one. So that's what I decided to do. So, my favorites for January. My first one, these boots that I bought over Christmas break. Usually I am horrible with finding boots that I like, especially black ones, and especially ones that have heels. I don't know why, like I have another pair here right next to me that I bought in the hopes that it would be like the black boot for me, but it was not. But these are, and even though these are a heel, I'm still so comfortable. Like, Glasgow is very hilly, and I can comfortably walk throughout the day in these heels, and they're so comfortable and nice, and they're just the right amount of edgy, and I can take this strap off to make them more classy, I guess, classier. I just love these. I bought them off of Shoe Dazzle, and if I remember, I'll put the link below. I probably won't remember. I've also been obsessed with this jacket of mine. I had bought it from Shein, and it was my first thing. I've been wanting a coat like this that has this red and black plaid kind of, don't want to say redneck style, but kind of redneck style. But the thing is, this is more like fashionable because it's a bit longer and it only has one button. And for me, I usually like having a zipper or like being able to button it up all the way because, I mean, coats are supposed to protect you from the cold, and how is that supposed to happen when it's open? But it actually works really well, and I love it. It's great. Another favorite of mine, which you probably might have noticed, maybe not, but I've been loving this lipstick by Rimmel. It's called Rose Velvet. It's what I'm wearing right on my lips, but I'll swatch it because I want to feel cool and do a swatch. It's just a nice red, like it's a burnt red kind of, or a burnt pink. That's not a burnt rose. There's a good description. But I really love this. I wear it every day, and it's not bold, but it's not a nude, if you know what I mean. So I really like this color, and I've been wearing it all the time. Another makeup thing is this palette. Now, I think I've told you guys that I've been obsessing over No Doubt for this past semester, and yeah, when I heard that they were coming out with a Gwen Stefani palette, I was just like, oh my goodness, I need that. I need to show my love for No Doubt. So I spent money on it, and it wasn't, I mean, it made me cry a little bit inside for how much I spent, but the colors are beautiful, and a lot of them are named after No Doubt songs, so it's just like, oh, I gotta do it. Especially because I can't find a No Doubt shirt, so I might as well buy a No Doubt related palette, even though this is a lot of money. Another favorite of mine is I've been listening to 21 Pilots non-stop, literally non-stop. I love them so much, like, just, they are so unique with their sound, like they merge like rap with like alternative rock, and it's just great. And it's to the point where I know most of their songs, and to the point where I was about to spend like $100 something to get good seats for one of their concerts near me. I did get tickets, but I did not spend that insane amount of money because I was like, that's a lot of money. Yes. But yeah, I've been loving 21 Pilots, and they're a great band. They're just, and they seem like cool people too. Like, I just want to hang out with them. They just, yeah, just greatness overall. Also, which is totally random, but I've been very into potato chips. I've been really bad. Like, usually I'm not a junk food, that's a lie. Usually I'm not a potato chip person. Usually if I'm going for junk food, it would be cookies or chocolate. But lately I've just been wanting salt. Just so much salt. So I've been loving potato chips, just like literally any kind. I actually had to go out the other day at like 10 at night because I was really craving potato chips. And usually I don't get cravings. But I got a craving for potato chips that I just could not be satisfied until I ate potato chips. Yeah, that was a really random video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and are not like completely against it, because I think it's good to have some kind of recap after all of the books that I read, especially if I don't give a review for all of them or give like my opinions or whatever, a set video just for that book. And I hope you guys enjoyed me including favorites in here. It's not very often that I have something that I'm just like, yes, I love this so much that I need to talk about it. But those were kind of it. And also, I just wanted to be like the fashion/beauty YouTubers that I've been guiltily obsessed with and watching all the time. But yes, again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video that I make. And I hope you will watch it and will subscribe so that way you can know when it is. Right? More advertisement, selling, placement, whatever. Yeah. So, I'll see you next time. Bye.